So the manager has reportedly gone. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but rumours are coming out. They're coming out thick and fast now, out of everywhere, that the manager has been sacked and Graham Potter is the favourite to take over. Listen, I can't say it's in time. Is that the same? I can't say it's ahead of time. It should have been done a long time ago. But yeah, it looks like they've finally pulled the trigger and said goodbye to Julian Lopetegui on a disastrous reign. It must be said, of half a season at West Ham United. Dan, just quickly, mate, just really quickly, as the news is coming in, hopefully it hits before we finish this live stream. What have you made of Lopetegui's reign? It's not going to take a genius to work out what you're going to say here.
Yeah, just a massive disappointment, and I didn't envision it would be this bad. I thought it would be boring but stable, and it has been a car crash, and he's been given way too long. Took way too long to figure it out, and it just seemed to be the wrong fit. He just couldn't seem to get to grips with this team, and like you said, it's been a long time coming. We also hadn't mentioned Potter seems to be the favourite, as we have in the thumbnail. If you're watching this, if you can see the thumbnail, and I'm seeing a lot of things. So Sean Whetstone, who is close to the board, put a Harry Potter clip up. You know, these ITKs, they like to put their little teasers up. He's put a little teaser, which could suggest that it is true. That's also along with the photo doing the rounds of Potter and Stuyton. So
yes. Yeah, I mean,
out, Potter in.
Listen, it's not going to take a fucking genius to work it out. There's a photo going around of Stuyton having a conversation in what looks like a very casual situation where it looks like they're discussing would have taken over future West Ham. Listen, Dan, before we get to the stats and facts of everything, apparently it's a short-term deal. Do you think that's any good for West Ham?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm not a fan of these short-term deals in general. I think if you're going to hire someone, back them and stick with them. I think, but in the situation we're in, I always felt like I didn't want to sign someone now out of desperation because they're available and then we're stuck with them. And because there's a very high chance with how rarely Sullivan sacks managers early. We just talked about the fact that he, waited for Avram Grant to take us down before that he sacked him. That the next manager, if that didn't work out, then we wouldn't be seeing another quick sacking again. So if we get Potter on a short term, gives us a chance to feel him out, for him to feel us out, and then in the summer we can make a decision when we're not under pressure in the midst of a season, and it gives us a little bit more time. So I'd be in favour of that, as much as I don't usually like it.
I mean, it becomes quite apparent that something has to be done. When look, I come out of Manchester City on Saturday feeling that we wasn't terrible. We weren't terrible. It definitely weren't the worst performance of the season. That's for sure. And you get much. No, it's not. No, it definitely ain't saying much. But you're getting beat by 4s, 5s last week, and all that. Listen, I think this is the same. Come on, Stefan. Look, we're going to get round to this inevitable question in a second. But yeah, when you're getting beat by 4s, listen, there's a couple of players there that reportedly he's fallen out with. Reportedly that don't like playing underneath him. People like Fulkrug, who's been injured for most of the season, apparently has been talking to Juventus because he's been unhappy with the stuff there. Kudus, he's been unhappy with the stuff there. It's quite apparent that he's not playing for the manager anymore. People like Todibo, who are highly rated, apparently come to blows with the manager at some point in the season. There's something definitely not right there. And listen, when there's so many assets and saleable assets as well, and we ain't got many at West Ham, when there's so many saleable assets sort of like becoming very disillusioned, with life underneath the manager, it's only going to end in one way. And the pressure was building up over and over again from the fans. Listen, when he first got appointed, and I'm going to say this, listen, I was, there's no secret that I wasn't in favour of keeping Moyes. I think we needed to go on. I didn't know a lot about Lopetegui. listen, in hindsight, I should have listened to people like Dave, you know, who was on our fan cams, because he sort of lives and breathes football. And he said he wasn't inspired by him. But I said, look, you know, it may start a little bit, you know, tepid at the start. Why people are getting used to him, why people are, you know, sort of feeling him out, why changes are being made. But I think there was too many changes made too quickly. And look, 10 games, I said we should give him. This is 20. And listen, even the results, if we was in a position now that we're in now, even with Lopetegui, but I could see that the style of football was changing, or there was a transition towards a certain style of play, I'd turn around and go, yeah, do you know what? You know, I didn't expect much, but there is no improvement. In fact, we get worse as the weeks go on. There's very, very little improvements. There seems to be very little sort of work towards any sort of, you know, long-term plan, sort of any direction of the way we want to play football. It just seems to be chuck stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. But you know, it comes to a point where you just have to cut your losses, I'm afraid. Look, listen, I know people in the chats now saying about, oh, Nicky's going to say this and Nicky's going to say that. Listen, I always wanted to give the manager a chance, and I've always said I wanted to be wrong. You know, if I'm wrong, then West Ham are doing well. But you know, is Graham Potter the right man? Only time will tell. Again, I'm not going to judge the man. I've done this before with David Moyes. I'm not going to judge the man until he's taken over the side.
Well, Sean has updated, saying TalkSport appears to have jumped the gun a bit by saying Lopetegui has been sacked. I think it was Alex Crook that reported that. They have since amended it to say West Ham have made a decision to sack their head coach. Either way, it appears only a matter of time until a statement to confirm that, which might not necessarily be today. So there might not be a statement today. I guess they're looking to try and get an agreement.
I've heard X say the same thing, is that, you know, it's all but official. You know, everything's in place now. As I say, they've got Potter in place. They've got everything in place.
Well, I don't know if the deal's been agreed with Potter. I guess that's what they're trying to secure. So we don't, because we don't have like someone on the coaching team that could take charge while Lopetegui's gone, because it's all of his guys that he's brought. So if we sack him, he's probably going to take all his coaching staff. We're not going to keep one of them. So unless we promote one of the youth coaches or someone like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad they've taken action. Like we all said, should have done it earlier, but at least it's at the start of the transfer window now, and we, you know, rather than waiting a few weeks and giving him Fulham and Crystal Palace, which were reported a couple of days ago that he was going to get them 2 games. But yeah, Graham Potter, I got a bit of it because I'm very skeptical on Graham Potter. I don't hate the guy or anything. I don't think he's crap. I'm just skeptical. But this is what a Brighton mate said. He said Potter really revolutionised the way we played when he came in after Houghton. Good attacking football, pretty solid defensively, and blooded the youth when he could. Got some big wins against top 6, which previously hadn't have got. Had his flaws, though, went through a 3-month winless run and also called out the fans when things got tough. Think he jumped ship too early when taking the Chelsea job, but a solid manager. That's from, shout out to Maz for that. So, yeah, look, he sounds like a good fit. Sounds like a West Ham manager, you know, attacking football, blood in the youth, taking some big scalps. You know, that's all things that we love to hear as West Ham fans. It's all going to be about, though, can he fix our leaky defence? That is the question mark, because our defence is a shambles. Can he shore up that defence? And can he, you know, really get to grips with this squad? And he's going to have to get thicker skin. If you're a West Ham manager, you're going to have to develop thicker skin.
Oh, because I don't know. He went through the fucking mill at Chelsea, to be quite honest.
No, I'm talking about at Brighton, because I remember when he did come out and have a pop at Brighton fans.
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty tame fans by you know, most standards. And, you know, he came out and, you know, gave him some stick. And it's just like, imagine what he'll have to put up with at West Ham. So he's really going to have to.
I think when you look at the and I think all Premier League clubs are like this to a certain extent. You become a victim of your own success. You know, success doesn't stop. Success doesn't, the thrive and the hunger for success doesn't stop. We didn't all win a trophy in Prague and say, oh well, I've seen it now. Thanks very much for that. I won't ever ask for anything else again. You want more, and as you improve, that these heights are, they're reachable. They are reachable, and and that's like Brighton. Brighton, 20 years ago, we're a fucking middle of the road second division, third division side.
Yeah,
but they've become an established Premier League side. You've shown that you can play football. You've shown that you put a squad together. So all of a sudden, when things ain't going right, and West Ham are in the same sort of boat at the minute. It shouldn't. Nobody's going to turn around and say that wanting success is a bad thing. And obviously everyone wants success, but then sometimes the manager thinks, well, look where I've took them from and all that. But listen, you're just setting yourself standards, and that's what real winners are. Real winners are the ones that sort of set themselves standards and then try and break them every year. That's what the top managers do.
And I get people are saying, it's TalkSport. TalkSport isn't like the most concrete source, but there's no smoke without fire. And the fact that Stuyton is having meetings with Potter, the fact that the club are being reported to have meetings about Lopetegui's future. There's a lot of these stories coming out. It's a matter of time. You don't have all of that going on, and then Lopetegui's just, that's it. He's fine. He's going to be taking charge for the next few games. I think it's just a case of they're done. Apparently, Karen Brady's been the one pushing for Potter because reportedly she's mates with Graham Potter's wife. So sound reasoning.
Someone's going to be a mate of someone. Look, there's 2,037 people watching at this moment in time. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. If you want to see more, there's more to this story to come. There's more coming up in terms of previewing towards the Aston Villa game, which if the sacking comes at any time soon, is going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to be in charge for there, whether it's a one-off, whether it's a longer term thing, and who the new manager is going to be. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Oh my! Listen to this breaking news, breaking rumors. Knees up, Mother Brown. This guy, I haven't confirmed. Someone's put a quote out and attributed it to Knees up, Mother Brown, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Graham Potter has not signed a contract with West Ham yet because Jose Mourinho has indicated interest in taking over immediately. Fast-paced negotiations are underway to try and hire Mourinho on his terms as soon as possible so he can be in place for Fulham. I don't know, man. That can't be. That's got to be a wind-up. Surely.
Look, we're here to discuss rumours at the moment.
Yeah.
Apart from the confirmation of the sacking, which it hasn't come yet, these are all rumours. So look, I'm all for it. Jose Mourinho, do we want it? Does anyone want it? I'm not a fan, me. I've never been a fan of Jose Mourinho, even back in the days. But listen, it is what it is. I'm not the guy choosing it, and I'll back any manager that comes in. Do we want Jose Mourinho? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell us.
The thing is, listen, I love Jose, right? And I think he's brilliant. He's one of the all-time great managers. But at this stage of his career and where we are, I just don't think it's a good fit. I really don't think it's a good fit. And with the dressing room how it is and it being so tense in it, I don't know, man. And plus, we want youth. We've got good youngsters coming through. He's not that. And are we suddenly going to throw a load of money at Jose with what we've spent? I very much doubt it. And plus, the football's not going to be great. So I get it on reputation. I love the idea of having Jose as a West Ham.
That's a good idea. Can we do polls on here?
Can we do polls? I might have to go into the actual YouTube. Bear with me, people. What should I do a poll? Potter or what's his face, Jose?
Or neither.
Let's see what people would prefer. Like I said, I'm not massively convinced by Potter yet, but I'm open to him. I would rather Potter. Poll. Here we go. Potter. Let's see what the viewers want. Good idea. Was that Charlotte? So Jose at this stage, he just seems to have fallen out with a lot of the players that he's had. He always seems to kick off.
I'll be honest, right? I would take Jose over Potter if it's a longer term deal, and then we've got a longer term plan. if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's not a short-term manager, is he? You don't get him in on a short-term. Well, I guess they wouldn't. They wouldn't, would they?
No, I don't think they'd be able to. He's managing someone at the moment, isn't he?
He was in Feyenoord. I don't know if he's gone from there or not. I think he was in Turkey.
I would take Jose over Potter if it was a longer term deal. This 6 month deal, I don't know. It just doesn't fill me with either give the man a bit of backing at least, or or go for someone in the long term. Look, it must have been something they've been thinking about for a long, long time.
Yeah.
In terms of who's going to come in and who's it's something that's been banded about for a long, long time. So you've been talking about, you've been thinking about it.
I take either over Steve Cooper. By the way, was reported yesterday. Was one of the names. Steve Cooper.
If it's Steve Cooper, I wouldn't even get rid of Lopetegui.
Nah,
that's true.
Same.
That is true.
That would be horrendous. What's that?
The
poll's up. The poll is up so far. 59% saying Potter, 60% Potter. Yeah, it's about 60% Potter. Shout out Joe the Hammer with a 99 super chat. Thank you very much, Joe. It's not letting me make an even 20, but here's my side of the bet, Dan. Oh yeah. Also, Steve Cooper is inevitable. That's right. Cheers, man. So he made a bet with me and Jace, £10 bet that so Joe said we wouldn't sack Lopetegui until before the season's end over. We said we would. So thank you for that. I will see Jace gets his cut, Joe. But if somehow this is all not true, I'll give you money back.
Well, YouTube take half of that anyway, so they've won the bet.
Yeah.
We'll get it to him. We'll get it to the guys. But yeah, listen, it still isn't confirmed yet. So you may have paid up a little bit early, but reports are that he has been sacked. Reports are that Lopetegui's been sacked. I also heard a rumor, as we're speaking about rumors, and this is just rumors, that there was a little bit of disturbance. I thought you were showing like a porn video.
No, I'm just showing the picture for the people.
What are you showing? There was a disturbance at the training ground earlier, which many accredit to being maybe Lopetegui on his way out, but there we go. The reports are saying that is a picture of Tim Stylen and Graham Potter in long conversation. Listen, the internet will blow up, I think, if one comes out with him and Jose Mourinho having a fucking chat. But there we go. But yeah,
that would be absolutely crazy. Okay, so someone wants to give me an update. All right. Oh yeah, shout out. I'll give him a follow. So the person that actually posted about the Jose Mourinho thing, just see he wants to give me an update. You posted the knees up another brand. So shout out to, and that was Costilla WHU on Twitter. So I've just followed him back so he can give me an update. So we'll see what he's saying. Like I said, all the rumors are flying. This is the fun. I feel alive again. I feel alive. I was down, I was out, I was checked out for the season, and that's it. I'm like the Undertaker. I've just sat up and I'm ready.
Do you know what? I was expecting, this is what I'm saying. Every time that we play a game, I expect him to get the sack, and when he doesn't get the sack, do you know what I was going to do tonight? I was going to go to Lakeside and get some gloves. That's what I was going to do. That's how confident I was that there was going to be a sacking. On the way home, I've started hearing rumours that it's been done. So listen, it is what it is at the moment. It still isn't confirmed. 2,609 of you watching at the moment. Please hit that like button. It would really help us out if we do that right now. But yeah, let me just get up some stats of Lopetegui's before we go on. We'll take some comments as well before we sort of end the stream. Hopefully something hits. And if it doesn't hit, but it hits at a later date, we're going to go straight live again. So don't worry about it. We won't be
I'm tempted to block this guy, Jace. It's the Southgate. Get out of here.
Who's this guy? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, bloody Southgate.
Lopetegui beats Avram's unwanted record. So this was a couple of days ago when we lost the thingy. He's now got a worse win-loss record, although it is over 20 games and Avram's is over 47, I believe it is. Yeah. Lopetegui's is a 31.81% win rate, 7 wins, 5 draws, and 10 losses over 22 games, which is pretty
to be fair, he had another 18 games. So to be fair to Avram, it could have got worse. He could have gone in the 20s.
it puts him below Avram Grant, who managed 47 games with a 31.91 win rate, having won 15, drawn 12, and lost 20. So at the moment, he was. He still is at the moment because he's still in charge as far as we know. But he has been. He's got a worse win-loss record than Avram Grant on statistically. But listen, it's not all about statistics. Go on.
The Jose news was a wind-up at the expense of the nabbing West Ham Central. So
Brilliant.
It's we won't have to worry.
No, though. You never know. You never know.
This is the thing.
He was putting his name about, so you never know. You never know.
Yeah, so it's one of them. Like we he could be, like I said, his name would definitely be someone they'd be interested in for name value, but there is no, concrete evidence that we're got any link with him.
Danny says Potter is a done deal. Unfortunately, Danny doesn't seem confident. Can't be worse than floppy though. If Moyes offered you now, would you take it? Charlie Hancock, take that fucking nonsense out your mouth right now. Listen, this question was always going to come, and just inevitably it came as Moyes was in the stands the other day at Manchester City, and then all of a sudden he gets sacked. Would I take?
I think Moyes was trying to put himself in the shop window there. I think he was touting for the job, trying to get himself seen.
What, about the West Ham job?
Yeah, about the West Ham job. Yeah, not the Man City job. Could you imagine?
Yeah, maybe. No, but getting seen at any ground is putting yourself in the window for any job, isn't it? But I don't.
We're the only job that's close, I think. To no one else is on the verge of getting sacked. Is that? Are they? I don't think so.
Spurs. They've took ex West Ham managers before. Man United, I reckon, are probably not fucking going to be too many wins behind, even though they've just appointed him. Would he go back there? But no.
But those that are skeptical of Potter in the chat, by the way, because I see a lot of no Potter. Just let us know your reasons why not Potter. With that. Was it the Chelsea stint? Was it something that you've seen at Brighton? It wasn't that. What are the reservations with Graham Potter?
People saying there may be a club statement at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay. Well, we're not far from 5 p.m. So yeah, like honestly, well, thankfully, even though that story was a wind up, hardly anyone wanted Mourinho anyway, and it was 63% Potter. So there we go. We don't have to worry about it being a wind up. Oh gosh, you gotta love Twitter.
Rich Robertson says Potter would be a retread, need a fresh look. What is a retread? What does that mean?
Is it because he's British? Is it a British thing? It's one of those things. We've I think they've been burned by foreign managers. They haven't got a good track record of appointing them, and that doesn't mean I'm anti-foreign manager. I would love to have someone else back Fonseca. That was my first choice in the summer. Although I think he might be on the verge of getting sacked, to be fair. But
we're announcing it at 5 o'clock. It says, Dan, you have to put some stats in. I think I'm going to have to get a drink because I think we're going through to 5 o'clock at least.
Yes, we'll be here till 5 o'clock. Potter. I mean, Graham Potter. I was looking at Graham Potter's record, Premier League record, earlier on, and it's interesting. I think he's conceded more goals than he scored. I think a lot of that probably came at Chelsea. It was a mess, and that Chelsea mess sort of continued from Potter's time through to the sort of first half of Poch's time, and then started to sort of fix itself. I mean, it started before Potter. Let's be real. They was a complete shambles, and it seems like their squads where they signed all those players are finally gelling. It seems to be finally coming together for them because of just how long they've played together. So let's, Potter was there to fail. Actually, it does seem like that. It wasn't a smart choice from him. So Potter's Premier League record: 142 matches, 41 wins, 51 draws, and 50 losses. 155 goals for, 170 goals against. So, yeah, that's pretty much him in a nutshell. So, like I said, I think a lot of that was the tail end of the time at Chelsea. And I think this is a good point by Freddie. We need to bring in youth. And I think that is the big credit I can give to Potter, right? With the situation we're in, the fact that it's very unlikely we're going to be spending this January. It's very unlikely we're going to be bringing in some serious talent that's going to bolster this squad. So if he can find a way to bring up the youth, that's huge. That is going to be huge. We've got Ollie Scholes there, who sort of got the game by what do you call it, for Lopetegui. So we got Scholes in. If they can get maybe Freddie Potts back, I don't know if we can recall any loans, Earthy Potts, and he can start getting the youngsters through. I think that is the credit for Potter. That is the big bonus, because I don't think we're spending big. So if he can make do with coach what we've got, bring in youngsters, that gets me excited.
Yeah, 3,046 people watching at the moment. Hit the like button. It helps us out. It gets us shared around and it gets the news out. It's our stream scene. But what was we talking about?
Yeah, so I was just looking at some the stats and things like that. Oh yeah, he was at Östersunds, wasn't he? Didn't he beat Arsenal? Then he was at Östersunds. He got a win over Potter when he managed Östersunds.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think I remember then. Yeah, Swansea. He done pretty well at Swansea. Didn't get him promoted, I don't think. 18-19 season, I don't think he got promoted. But 18 wins, 11 draws, 17 losses. So it's one of them. I think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to come in and turn us into Champions League contenders. But it's all about the structure. He did revolutionize the way they played, Brian. But that was the start of the new structure with, is it Tony Ferguson? Who's the guy that heads up their stats and statistics, right? We haven't got that. So if you've got Graham Potter working under the recruitment of David Sullivan, that doesn't fill me with that much confidence in that regard. How is he going to be able to work under David Sullivan with that kind of lack of structure that we seem to be having, you know? But yeah, Lewis Gillam, someone made a good point there. Hopefully we can see how exciting he really is, that as much as we've heard.
Let's talk transfers. New manager comes in. What is the first thing he's going to be looking to do? Who's he going to be looking to offload? Who's he going to be getting back into the squad? Will anyone come back on loan? Do you see a resurgence for people like James Ward-Prowse? Will he need to replace the midfield completely? Is he going to be happy with a centre-back pairing? Will Todibo finally play a game? Will Fulkrug starting games? Will Kudus play in his proper position? There's all these questions. All of these questions. What does he need to do first, Dan?
Like I say, he needs to
solidify the defence.
Yeah, solidify the defence. Coach this team. Get them actually unified, gelling. You know what I mean? So maybe take him for a curry or something for a start or something like that. You know, just do something to get the unity. Well, I don't know. That was just the first thing that come off on the top of my head. So it's just like in terms of unifying the squad, trying to build togetherness, bringing in the youngsters, like I said, the likes of Scholes, get Guilherme game time, try and get the best out of the players that we've got, and then we'll see what we can bring in. If we can recall any loans, recall all the loans, and get them working. Because I just can't see us being that active this January. I really can't.
Charlotte Smalls said about 2 minutes ago, breaking, ex-West Ham employees reported there's a chance Tim Sterling could walk. Why?
Yes, because he's been completely undermined by David Sullivan. If he's been he's been relegated to an advisory role. Those were the words that was used. So if you're Tim Sterling, you've been brought in for this project to oversee. You're in charge of recruitment. All of this, you're going to be in charge of signing the players. And then 6 months into that project, the owner goes, "Actually, you've been advisory. I'm in charge of signing the players." Why wouldn't he walk? I'd walk.
I agree.
Full credit to him, if he does, because he should. That is an absolute mistake. You got someone who is, not qualified at all. I tweeted out his, credentials. He was the executive producer of Hellcat Mud Wrestling, Sullivan. So what's he know about?
To be honest, when you look at, what he's paying him for. He's not going to leave him sitting there on that sort of whatever wage he pays him, doing nothing, is he? He's going to, at the end of the day, he's going to. If that is the case, and he's had to sort of take that role off. It's like if you employed someone to, I don't know, paint pictures, and then said, "Don't worry about painting the pictures. I'll paint all the pictures. You just hang them up on the frames." Eventually, you're going to fucking stop paying them a painter's fucking fee, aren't you? You know what I mean? So he's probably
obviously he's still negotiating for signings because he's meeting with Lopetegui.
Yeah, but
I mean,
still,
he's not Lopetegui.
It's part of what makes him special. Listen, he was the one taking all the credit when we was getting the Kuduses, the Pakatars, and all of that sort of thing. So he was the sort of one that was putting it. It's him who goes and takes the pictures of them as if to say, "Look, this is my guy. This is who I've brought in." And most of them have been good players. They've been really good players. Is he going to want to do the same with David Sullivan? Sort of hanging around in the background, looking like he's kneeling on his shoes. Probably not. You know what I mean? So, it's tough because at the end of the day, he was being highly sort of touted around Europe for the work that he done, and to have someone like David Sullivan, who, let's be honest, knew fuck all about nothing, about anything to do with signings or football and all that, and the success that he has had has been a stab in the dark, to turn around and go, "Leave it, son. I'll do it from now on. You don't know what you're doing." When he's meant to be a professional at doing that, I think it's undermining, and I would walk out. I would really walk out. I hope David Sullivan sort of has a big turn of heart, change of heart over the next couple of days about what's going on and whether we can sort of start getting a tune out of these players if he sacks the manager. At the end of the day, I think the manager comes down to him. It comes down to him. At the end of the day, even if he didn't want him, he has to green light it. So, any sort of any sort of blame comes down to him. It has to by default. It's his fault. He greenlights the move.
There's been an update from X. Before I get it, someone said, "Can we recall Potts?" I believe we can recall him, but according to a report, we have no plans to. We won't invoke that. But that was a few days ago. If Potter comes in and says, "I like him, he's part of my plans," that could change. But there's been 2 updates from X. I'm aware that TalkSport are saying he has gone, but I've checked with my sources at TalkSport, and the source isn't someone I know or can trust. I will wait for my own confirmation. And then he said, "It appears at this point, the manager and his close contacts are unaware of any decision that has been made. He also took training today." So, I mean, if that's true, then TalkSport, whoever that, I thought it was Alex Crook, who usually seems to be.
There's a lot reporting it. It is a lot reporting it.
Yeah, but clearly the meeting with Potter has happened. That's undeniable. We can see with our own eyes the meeting with Potter has happened. So we're not going to meet with Potter unless we have plans to sack Lopetegui, surely. And X did report that the meetings about his future have happened.
We're going to wait until 5 o'clock and just 5 to see if there's a statement. If there's no statement, then we'll come back when it's live. We'll come back.
Imagine if the statement says Lopetegui stand, we back him fully.
Yeah,
that would be
10 more games.
That's it. I'd go back. I'd go from being alive. I'd go back like we did again. So let's see. Let's see what it comes out. But like I said, like they're clearly meeting and deliberating over the future of Lopetegui. I think there are going to be voices calling for him to be sacked. The thing is with Sullivan, he is the ultimate divering Dave out of everyone. So he is going to,
There's obviously some sort of movement today. This doesn't come out of.
It's not come from thin air. I think that they've probably got their wires crossed, or they've jumped the gun on a bit of information that they have got. So I'll see. I'll keep refreshing to see if there's anything, because that 5 o'clock. Where did that come from? This 5 o'clock announcement?
Someone said it on the chat. Says we should wait till 5 o'clock. Apparently, it's going to be a statement at 5 o'clock. We've got a minute.
Do you know what it's like? It's like the transfer window. Don't go to bed, and we're all here going, "Okay, what's going to happen?" And then nothing happens. When we linked with Adi Bayor, we all thought he was getting Adi Bayor, and nothing.
What?
Yeah, don't you remember that?
Oh yeah, oh, what the transfer window?
The transfer window. No, not as the manager. Danny Bayor.
No.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, it's 5 o'clock
Yeah.
on the dot. Right, refresh. No, but no, it's I'm refreshing. There's nothing. But it could be like 5, 0030 or something. But yeah, I just think it's one of them things of it'd be a morning thing, it'd be like a 9 a.m. thing. I think they're getting all their ducks in a row, as they say. Someone's just retweeted the "Don't Go to Bed" DG. February 2nd, 2015.
Is that when that was?
Is that when that was? But that was the transfer window would have been open. I'm sure he did one on the transfer window.
Transfer window, yeah. That would have. Was it 2015? That would have been 10 years ago.
I think you done it twice. Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? Still waiting for Carlos Bacca to sign. Statement at 6. Leave it out.
I'm still waiting to see what happens with that William Carvalho, and if we're going to sign that player from PSG in replacement.
Poor Bilic, man. He really wanted Carvalho. Imagine a statement saying he signed a new deal. I literally just said that, D.
Don't you remember the email sent out by Sullivan that said something like, do the deal now. This is the money on the table. And if you don't, we're going PSG for someone.
Yeah, oh yeah. Listen, I've seen many emails from Sullivan, and he literally, the way he types, it's like a bloody 8-year-old. Yeah, like, so look, we'll see. But it seems like Potter's happening, right? That seems to be the case. It's going to be Potter.
Someone said we should go all out for Delap from Ipswich. Delap from Ipswich has just signed for Ipswich literally 6 months ago. I thought he was on loan, but he's not. They signed him for £20 million. And he's on a 5-year deal. That will not be cheap.
No,
for a team that are fighting relegation, you're not going to get him. Listen, for what it would cost to go out all out to go and get him, I wouldn't pay it.
They'll probably want like 50 million, I reckon.
Yeah,
50 million. Same as like all of these Durans, people saying that it's a non-starter. But yeah, Jonathan David, as Charlotte said, that's the one. If Jonathan David's available on a free in the summer, get him now. Get Jonathan David in now if he's free in the summer. That's what absolutely has to happen. So, yeah, whoever we get in, it just has to be the right thing. We have to sort the future of the coach out, right? Whether they're sticking with Lopetegui, which it seems like they're not, or it's Potter. Sort that out over the next few days. Don't wait like a week. And then we've got to delay our transfer business because we don't know who's going to be in charge. This has to be a priority. By tomorrow, I want this done, dusted. Loppy out. And if it's Potter in same day. No wasting time. And then that might give the players, even though he might not take charge of the Villa game, but imagine like just the dark cloud lifted over the players' heads. And you might see a different team go out against Villa, Did Ferguson from Brighton play under Potter? I don't think Ferguson. I think he might have been too young.
Might have started there.
Yeah, Ferguson.
Too long ago.
I see he was linked to Arsenal.
Huh?
Ferguson. I see he was linked to a move with Arsenal. We were also, I see, linked with a move for Kieran Tierney at left back.
Yeah,
which is an interesting one. I like Kieran Tierney. I rate him.
I really think left back is a position that we really, really have to go all out.
You say that, but we're playing bloody Wan-Bissaka there. So
no, I know, but we've got Scholes, and to be honest with you, mate, that's the manager's fault. I think Scholes should have played the other day. And I think Wan-Bissaka should have been playing on the other side. I think it would have cut out the first two goals. But there we go.
Yeah, I mean, so 2021, he was started playing for Brighton and Hove Albion.
Ferguson made his debut for Potter in a cup game.
So Potter did bring him through. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, it depends. Like Tierney on loan, I take that, and then you get Ferguson on loan. I think that would be our 2 domestic loans. I think we can only get 2 domestic loans. So I'd be happy with that, and then try and get this box-to-box midfielder or box-to-box defensive midfielder, or whatever it is they're calling it. Try and get a midfielder in. I hope that it's not going to be Ward-Prowse. As much as I think we should recall Ward-Prowse, I don't think we should just be, that's it. I don't think Ward-Prowse solves our midfield issues.
Duncan Evans says, "Where's this 5 p.m. announcement?" Then I don't know, Duncan Evans. Go and ask fucking West Ham. I'm not announcing it. I'm just telling you that what we've been told. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck it is.
It's a valid question. Where is it? It's nowhere. It was obviously. I don't know where that 5 p.m. announcement rumor came from.
5 a.m. Someone said 5 a.m.
5. I'll leave it. So this Euro expert, he's a bit of a stat nerd, and he said if it's Potter, I think it's fair to start getting excited. So he does a lot of analysis videos on YouTube and things like that. So he seems to really rate him. He said, sure, Chelsea didn't go well, but he did a lot of good stuff at Brighton. He has much more modern ideas than Lopetegui and should get the squad performing to a level you'd expect from their talent, which is at least mid-table, which is, I guess, a glowing endorsement. Should get us at least mid-table. But yeah, so the sort of the statistician nerds and things like that. And I agree. Yeah, he's probably more modern thinking than Lopetegui. It just, if we end up with Potter, it's just going to beg the question of why didn't we just get him in the summer instead of Lopetegui? Why did they go for Lopetegui over Graham Potter? Was he cheaper? Because we just look like idiots. We could have just got this geezer at the start of the summer, the start of the season, and just avoided all of this, all this mess.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, so look, you realize you make a mistake and you course correct. I don't get fans that say, and I've had this before, we're not a sacking club. Like, it's not our cult. I don't want to see us start sacking managers because that's not our identity. And I think if you sign someone and need to be sacked, you sack him. You don't keep a manager or keep a coach, because in our history, we didn't really do that. Times have changed. A lot of our identity was playing at Upton Park. We don't play at Upton Park anymore.
Yeah.
So I can't sit there and say, because we haven't had a history of sacking managers or coaches early, that we shouldn't start doing it now. Lopetegui has to go. There's no two ways about it. He has no clue, and he's never going to turn it around.
It's just not going. It's just not going anywhere under him. You can just see it. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's it. So, I don't care that we had managers for years and we've not had that. It doesn't that. But all that bothers me is we do the right thing for the future of the football club. That's the most.
Lee Hammer says, "Why ain't West Ham announced that if he's sacked, regardless of how shit he is, at least do it properly instead of constant leads?" Listen, the club might be, they've got to have time to put packages together. They've got to make announcements. They're not just going to say it off the bat. They're going to have a lot of plans in place. Listen, sometimes you just cannot help but things get out. As much as
we're pretty bad at it. We're pretty bad.
We're pretty bad at it, but it seems like we do it.
And Sullivan leaks himself. That is the problem. Is he leaks it? We all know he leaks the stories himself. So when you've got the owner of the football club leaking, what can you do to stop leaks? It leaks left, right, and centre.
Paul McCullum's trying to start a riot because he's saying tickets are still available in the Dagenham end for Monday.
Oh, for the Millwall game.
Millwall, Dagenham and Redbridge.
Bloody hell. I think, do you know what? I think tickets are probably still available. Fans have been so miserable and checked out of football, they couldn't even get excited to go to Millwall away. And that's why the tickets ain't been snapped up yet. I think people even forgot it was happening. I know I did. But yeah, so Standard are reporting we're in talks to appoint Graham Potter. So everyone's jumping on this now. It's going to be an absolute frenzy. I'm so glad I put reportedly sacked in the title. Reportedly. Don't have a go at us, people.
Yet. So if you come in here thinking 3,910 people right now, I think 6 just tuned out when they heard you say reportedly. Listen, it isn't confirmed yet. It isn't confirmed, but everything is pointing towards the fact that he's sacked. Listen, we're going to go off air in about 10 minutes anyway, and we'll be back if he does get sacked. So as soon as he's confirmed,
we'll be on standby.
We're going to be on standby. Yeah, we're going to be straight away. We're going to be on it. Bosh, straight away. But
yeah, this is a good. Chris Edwards said we simply can't have Lopetegui in the dugout on Friday against Villa. That'd be ridiculous considering Potter is imminent. And that's what I have no doubt with everything I've seen, the meeting that's happening, all the reports. I have no doubt Potter will be the next manager.
Did anyone? Let's have honesty. Let's go up honesty street. Yeah. Did anyone think Loppy would be the man and has been sort of like maybe had their mind changed? Maybe you don't think he's been given enough time. Maybe you think that there's sort of too much going on at the same time. Did anyone think Lopetegui was the man? Let's hear from them people. I'd like to hear from them people. I want to hear people.
Does anyone still think Lopetegui's the man?
Yeah, I have heard them people. I've heard people turning around and say, "Look, we've got to give the man more time." I've heard people calling in to talk sport. I've heard people coming up to talk to me on fan camps saying, "Look, he can build something special if we give him the time." Is Hammer Time says we can't go off air until he's sacked. I guarantee you now, I'm going off air. I'm giving it 10 more minutes.
Don't go to bed, DG. Don't go to bed.
Honestly, I'm going off air. We can't just keep on talking until he's sacked. It might be Monday, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever think Lopetegui was the man? I have heard people say it. I've heard people say that he hasn't been given enough time, that there are certain things against him. Do you think he was the man ever?
The thing is, I thought when it was announced, I said it was an uninspiring appointment, but not a terrible. I said it wasn't going to be terrible. I thought it would be like a safe mid-table appointment. It didn't excite me. I was even wrong on that front. But I backed him once we signed him, and that's what I do. I will say my reservations, like I have reservations about Potter. Once you're the manager, boom, I'll give you a chance. And then maybe I was like crazily, backing him at one point. But I just got to that point where I just didn't see anything. Time should be earned. You've got to show something to suggest time will, things will improve in time. And there wasn't any signs of that. It would just be blind hope and faith. And I'm not great with blind hope and faith. Clout and Booze have reported he's gone. They're probably on the same thing as we are. They're looking at all the reports.
It's the same wavelength. Probably.
I think they're looking at the same. It's all the same. Everyone's looking at the same reports, and I think it's, it's one of them things. It's a matter of time. I honestly think it's a matter of time, and it's crazy. I think, do you know what? This sort of media frenzy and jumping the gun could speed things up even more. I think Sullivan. He's so tuned into the media, and he's looking at it, seeing all the reports, and everyone jumping. Oh, Lopetegui's gone. Lopetegui's gone. And he's like, that might just push his hand a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just going to look. Imagine he's in the dugout Friday. What a disappointment, and just how deflated fans will be after going from, he's gone. It looks like we're getting a new coach.
Yeah. Listen, 3,830 people watching at the moment. We're dropping off a little bit. I think we're losing a bit of interest, seeing as there's no announcements coming. But
it's looking like it's done. Yeah.
It's looking like it's done. Leave that like and subscribe button. Listen, if we do go off air, hit the bell notification, because if we come back, well, you're gonna know first. You're gonna be straight back into the mix. We're gonna be back, maybe even with a couple of more boys having an opinion on it. You know what I mean? Getting their fucking two pence worth in.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's fun. I'm alive again. Whatever happens, I'm just enjoying talking about West Ham.
There's something happening. There's something fucking happening, boys and girls. There's something happening at the moment. There's something going on. Listen, even if they turn around and said, listen, we're going to give him the next 10 games, at least you know. At least you know.
But that's what I'm saying. We've got something exciting to talk about, some possibility of change. And I was tired of talking about West Ham before, and now I'm having fun talking about West Ham because there are possibilities.
I agree with this. Debster, there was a Leicester City episode. Should have been sacked after losing to Leicester the way it happened. Chance of sacked in the morning was sang around the last 10 minutes of every match from the away section, which I heard because I was there. Yeah, we've wasted way too much time. Listen, I know that things have to be put in place, but to give the man the same, I'd rather put an intern manager in place, someone that's been there for a while, like Kevin Keane and Mark Noble, maybe. You know what I mean? Give him a little go and get rid of him. Ryan was talking to us on a group chat earlier. Said we're such a shambles of a football club because only us can know this is coming and not have a fucking plan in place. So there we go.
That's David Sullivan all over. That is him all over. So
Right.
Let's have a look. Let's see. Like, I can't see it being today. Like you, Nikki said, we're going to be. You know, I'm going to put the notifications on my Twitter actually to see this. Yeah. So, but I could, if it's going to happen, I think it will happen before.
I think. If you want my personal opinion, this is based off nothing. I think he's gone, and I think they're putting the press together. That is my personal opinion. That is my gut feeling.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, hopefully they knock up the press kit real quick. But let me just check if X has done it. No, there's no other update at all. Just that he took training.
It's going to be 9 a.m. in the morning.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a 9 a.m. job. So
9 a.m. on the dot as everyone getting to their desk.
If you're going to sack someone, just sack them and announce it. Like, all you need is the picture of the corner flag. West Ham would like to announce we've parted ways with Lopetegui. Thanks for his time. That's it.
Everyone likes that picture of the corner flag. Everyone loves it.
That's all you need. Like, you don't need this big. It's not a kit launch. It's not a player signing.
I wonder why they always put that picture of the corner flag.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that got to be a thing. I think one team must have used it. Of got, what can we do? Like, what can we put? We're going to put a picture of the manager looking all sad. Like, oh, I'm sad.
Getting his boxes and that out of his boxes.
But yeah, so it's one of them. Like I said, it's because they're just sacking him. We don't need to do this. Oh, we're going to do 9 a.m. We're going to get all our press kit done and that. It's just corner flag, little mess, little statement. Everyone knows. Then do the big press for the next coach. You know, so yeah, it's one of them ones. Okay. Like I said, we'll see. Sully will address the nation at 8 p.m. The Sully address. Good to see that. But yeah, like I said, I'm confident he's going based on all this. Loppy's days, hours, or minutes are numbered, and we'll find out very soon, I believe, one way or another. Or we'll just be all miserable when we see him in charge for Villa, and then we get battered, and then he's going to Fulham. We'll see.
Right, let's wrap it up there then. Thank you very much for joining us this live. Hopefully, we will be back a bit later, but if not, we'll be back as soon as it gets confirmed by the club. But there we go. As I said, if you're just tuning in, to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification because we're going to go live as soon as he does. But if you just got around, reports are Lopetegui has been sacked and Potter is imminent to be joining. But it hasn't been confirmed while we're here. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left for us to say.
Come on, you Irons.